If posting to social feels scarier to you than watching a horror film late at night, then you, my friend, are in the right place. I work with business owners, and most of them, when we begin to work together, tell me the exact same thing. I know I should post, but what if nobody sees it? Or what if I post the wrong thing? Or even scarier, what if somebody actually does see it? So today I'm going to teach you how to fear proof your content calendar so that you can post with confidence even when you're scared. In fact, we're going to talk about why that fear shows that you're on the right track. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren. I am a fractional CMO and your new biz bestie. And I would love for you to subscribe to my channel here because every week I post tips about how to manage and control your content so that you can get real ROI on your business. All right. So let's start by reframing the fear. We all know that fear comes up when something matters, right? If you aren't afraid of doing something, it means that you aren't at all aware of the importance that it has on your life or the connection that it has to your purpose. If it matters, there should be a little level of fear around it. This goes whether we're jumping out of a building, with a parachute on it, or if you are posting something about your business. I only work with people who have started businesses because they know there's a hole in the world that they need to fill. And whether you are an actor or a coach or you own an olive oil and vinegar shop, there is a real reason why you have started this business and are putting it out in the world. It's because you have a bigger calling. And so we're going to think about that thing as fear. In fact, I have a pop up that comes up on my calendar randomly that says feeling fear is being brave. Just the fact that we are on a path where fear is alongside of us, that means you are being brave. You are being brave in your content. You are being brave in your business. You are taking the steps that you need to get out into the world. Okay. So let's think about the first time you went live or your first client call, one of those firsts in your business. You probably were a little bit sweaty. Maybe you took a little extra time to get ready, like I did this morning. Um, Maybe you had a racing heart. Maybe you had that, like, I don't even know what I'm going to say, kind of fear bubbling up right here, right? That's just your brain saying, this matters. And the unfortunate thing for us is our brains can't tell the difference between, fear running from a beast and the fear of going live. It all kind of manifests in the same thing because it matters. This is your life. This is your purpose. This is your movement. So if you get nervous before a post, congratulations. You are doing the right thing. You are putting good things out in the world and you are fulfilling your life's purpose. So, the fear, not that it should stop you, but if it's not along for the ride with you, it kind of means you're you're not doing anything important anymore, you know? If it just becomes rote, I know that sometimes when I'm working with my clients and we're meeting for our monthly meetings and people are just kind of like, oh, well, I guess let's just do whatever. It's like, aha, we have drifted a little bit into complacency. None of this is really mattering anymore. So we need to kick up our game. We need to shake things up a bit. So you should always have a little bit of that anticipation, let's call it, as we are working on content. The solution to this fear, well, obviously, you can work with someone like me, but you can also pre-plan your content. And I love to do this through the framework that I work with my clients. I call it my Big Rock, Little Rock Bubbles system. And I've also created a no fear content calendar. You can go ahead and click the link below in the description and download this for yourself so that you can do it together with me. And you can pause the video right here if you want to go download that, print it out, and then let's get started. Uh, but we also, um, what was I saying? I kind of forgot it. Okay. So yeah, this is the planner that I've put together. Sorry about that. Haven't had all of my coffee yet this morning. And I'm going to go ahead and share what this looks like. Again, you can grab the link below and follow along. So, this is the no fail, no fear content calendar. And as you can see, we've got 3 spaces, and then I also add a space for your boundaries because sometimes what we fear is actually something that we're like, "Oh, okay, no, that's my brain. That's my system telling me we actually need to create a boundary around this, and this is not something I want to share." So for a lot of people, that can be specifically where they live. That can be the images of their children. It can be, well, I'm comfortable discussing my business, but I don't want to discuss my personal life. Or the one I hear all the time, I don't want to share what I'm eating. You don't have to share what you're eating. Go ahead and put it in the boundaries as something we are not going to talk about. So actually start there. Start by listing the things that are off limits for you in your content so that you know, okay, we're not going to worry about those things. We're not going to have to deal with them. We're going to be able to go ahead and see what we're not going to talk about so we know it's safe. So we're going to start there with your boundaries. Then we're going to move into your big rocks. Your big rocks are items tied to your calendar that cannot be moved. So for a business, the big rock is if you have a sales flow going on, you're going to have to talk about your sale at some point in the month, right? So that's a big rock. If you are speaking somewhere or giving a talk or, going in and sharing a free resource to somebody, you're going to want to talk about that on your social because it's happening. These are things that we can't move, right? They are the big rocks of our content. The next thing is those little rocks. These are the pieces where we're going to get people to know, like, and trust you in order to purchase from you. So, these are things like behind the scenes. These can be tips. These can be stories around your client work. It can be fun reels, like if you see something that's trending and you wanna, you know, tell it from your own perspective, that's a great medium rock there. And finally, there are the bubbles. Now, bubbles are anything that doesn't necessarily have to do with your business, but it lights you up with joy. For instance, I am becoming a big brooch fan. And so, like sharing the new brooches that I get and where they came from or where I found them. This one was actually given to me by my neighbor who heard that I was really falling in love with brooches. And so she was like, I'm going to go ahead and give you this because she never wore it. How fabulous. So, like, that's a bubble for me. Notice it had nothing to do with social media. It had nothing to do with how I show up every day other than it looks cute, but it lights me up inside. It makes me happy. And so sharing these weird little things that make you happy, like another is I frequently share my walks with my dog, or I talk about when I'm making their food, my dog food. These things are weird little specific things that I do that I share that have nothing to do with my business because they are connection points with my ideal client. And you don't have to know in advance, like, oh, my client also probably has dogs. So they're going to want to talk about how they make bone broth. No, we're just sharing the very specific, unique things about us in the bubble content. And that will naturally connect to people because the more true you are about yourself and who you are, the more you're connecting into that soul of the world. And the more you're actually going to connect with a larger audience. So even if someone else is not a big fan of brooches and they're like, I don't really care about that, but they love how geeky I am about that because they're geeky about something else in their own life, that's a connection. Okay, so we've written out in the month of October is what we're in right now, what your big rocks are, what your medium rocks are, and what your bubbles are. Then you're going to go ahead and schedule them. Now, big rocks for the month, you probably have somewhere between 2 and 4. Your medium rocks, you're going to probably have 4 to 8 of these. And then the bubbles, a couple, 2, maybe 3 of those posts. But we're going to go ahead and put them into a calendar. As you can see here, I've made one without any dates. So you can print this out, put in the numbers, and then start planning out your content. The key is to remember, what is your big goal for the month? Right now, for me, I just want more people to have eyes on my content. I'm just trying to get more subscribers here. So go ahead and click subscribe if you haven't already. I just want to help more people right now. I want to get the tools that I've created in my business over the past 13 years into more hands. So that's my main goal, is like, what can I do this month to put things out more in the world, which is why I've started these YouTube lives, which is why I'm being more active on my LinkedIn channel and my Instagram channel. So know your big reason. We put that at the top. And then you just go ahead and you fill in those big rocks. Probably one big rock a week, one or two of those little rocks, those medium rocks sprinkled each week. And then every other week, SiriusXM keeps trying to call me. Every other week, you're going to go ahead and put in your bubbles. All right. We have gone ahead and we have walked you through the no fail content calendar to help you see how that can minimize the fear. Again, we don't want to totally get rid of it. We always want a little bit of anticipation. You should always have a little bit of that kind of zhuzh as you're going live or creating some content, because it should matter. It should always matter. But we don't want that fear to stop you from putting your very important message out into the world. When your week has structure, your brain has less room for fear. So you're not winging it. You're just following the plan. All right, friend? Okay, so let me know in the comments below, what's one thing you're going to post this week if fear wasn't in charge? I really want to see what that will be for you. This is the end of our time today together, but I just want to remind you, the fear isn't going to disappear. It's always going to be a part of your work if your work is mattering, but it loses its power when we plan and when we know that it's really just a sign that this is connected to our life purpose and our work, and that we're on the right track. So don't forget to download the free weekly planner in the link below, plan out your week, and post one thing this week that scares you, that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone, because you're going to grow just a little bit as we go along. All right. So don't forget, friends, your content doesn't bite. Um, unless you're, well, actually, no, your content's not going to bite at all. Maybe biting with sarcasm. Okay. I'm a dork. In any case, please stay social happy. Make sure you subscribe to my Get Social Happy channel here and let me know what content you're going to post. Stay social happy.